everyone, and welcome to Chapter 1, the Aptly and Mind Tap homework. So you should have the correct answers by the time you finish listening to this little video, so I recommend you take the time to go ahead and do that. And please let me know if you find it to be useful or not, and I will do some more. So this first question is on determining opportunity cost. So we want to know what Juanita gives up when she chooses to go to a department store to buy herself a suit that she wants. So from this one, the important things to remember: her local store is 15 minutes away from where she works. So she can go to that store and she can buy a marked up price for the suit. So the suit at that store costs $103, but she spends 15 minutes driving each way looking for the suit. She also spends half an hour shopping for the suit. So the whole trip costs her, in this case, costs her an hour. It costs her 15 minutes plus 15 minutes Whoops. Okay, I can't actually type here, sorry. Plus the 30 minutes of shopping. The 30 minutes of shopping is what I think is what I tend to forget when I do things like this. So when you add all that together, it costs her, okay, not 3 minutes for shopping, 30 minutes for shopping. It costs her an hour to go shopping. So that hour costs her, because she earns $16 an hour, which I think it tells us on the slide. Yeah, here she earns $16 an hour. So that's $16. So that hour of shopping then costs her $16. So her local department store, right here, costs Juanita $15 transit, or 15 minutes transit plus 15-minute transit plus 30 hours of shopping. So 1 hour is $16, plus then the suit costs $103. Across town, on the other hand, the suit only costs $85, but when she goes across town, she spends more time. Ditto with the neighboring city, she spends more time. I think the neighboring city is an hour each way. Plus, but then the suit is only $63. So if we put these in, so the local department store, 1 hour of time, cost her $16. The suit cost $103. Total cost $119. Just added those two together. Crosstown cost her $25 in time, because it cost 30 minutes each way, an hour to get there, plus her half an hour shopping time, so an hour and a half. $16 an hour plus $8 for half an hour got you your $24. Crosstown, she drove an hour there, she drove an hour back, that's 2 hours, so that's $32. Plus she shopped for half an hour, that's another $8, so 32 plus 8 is 40. Plus the 63 gives us $103. So it's actually cheapest for Juanita to buy the suit in the neighboring city. She actually spends less purchasing it in the neighboring city than she does buying at the local department store. So all we're doing is including the cost of time in the opportunity cost of purchasing the suit. Question 2 is just a quick multiple choice question to talk a little bit about how one makes decisions. So in this case, Dimitri is training for triathlon, a timed race that combines swimming, biking, and running. I happen to pay attention to this because my husband does triathlons. So his pool sessions are helping him swim more quickly. Because of that, Dimitri is going to reduce by 1 hour per week the time he spends training on the bike, and increase by 1 hour the time he spends training in the pool. That's because he thinks that the marginal benefit he is going to get from training in the pool is going to outweigh the marginal benefit he gets from training on the bike. But he only has a set amount of time to train, so he only has his 20 hours, which I may say is an underestimate for people doing triathlons. But when he gives up, if he wants to swim more, he has to necessarily bike less. So that's the opportunity cost of swimming more, is biking less. So what this question is trying to get at is the idea that many decisions are made on the margin. So he needs to look at the marginal benefit of increasing his swimming time and the marginal cost of decreasing his bike time, and balance those two. This is the second version of that question, which I just stuck in here too, because what we're trying to emphasize here is you make decisions on the margin but also that all choices have opportunity costs. So when Beth, who's also training for triathlon, decides not to swim, she has to, or decides to swim more, that means she can bike less. So you have to keep in mind that every choice you make has got an opportunity cost, and you're going to make decisions about balancing those opportunity costs on the margin. So you're going to increase a little bit, decrease a little bit. So we don't typically look at entire choices, we typically look at marginal choices, and all of those choices have opportunity costs. Then the last question is about inflation and unemployment. So in an attempt to combat severe inflation, the government decides to decrease the amount of money in circulation in the economy. So what happens when they do that? So there's literally less money in the economy. That essentially means people can buy fewer goods and services. So the demand for goods and services goes down when that happens. So that first question, this monetary policy decreases the economy's demand for goods and services. When the demand for goods and services decreases, product prices necessarily have to decrease. In the short run, the changes in prices induce firms to produce fewer goods. So they're selling their goods for a lower price. So they in response to that will produce fewer goods and services. That means that more people will be out of a job, because if you're producing less, you need fewer employees. So that leads to a higher level unemployment. So what this little string of logic is getting to us is this idea that the economy faces a trade-off between inflation and unemployment. So lower inflation tends to lead to higher unemployment. In the short run, this is in the long run solutions. Short run Phillips curve is what this is. So in the short run, because prices were going up rapidly, the government said, well, we're not going to allow people to have as much money in the economy. That's going to cause that inflation to decline. But the side effect of that in the short run is an increase in unemployment. And that was it for Applia 1, for the Applia assignment for Chapter 1. So I hope everybody got 100% on this one, and we'll see you again for Chapter 2.